Welcome to the On-Demand Module 5, Part 2, Getting Started with the Inside Online Coach Teacher Tools. My name is Angela Terry, National Consultant for National Geographic Learning, and I will be your presenter for this session. The Online Coach is interactive software designed for striving readers and English learners to build their reading power. Students develop reading skills, practice pronunciation and fluency, and acquire academic vocabulary using the software's structured supports. Hopefully, you've already viewed Module 5, Part 1, Getting Started with Inside Online Coach, the Student Experience, but if not, please stop this session and view it now. As you can see, this is the last of 5 on-demand training modules to help prepare you for use of Inside in your classroom. If you haven't already viewed the previous sessions, you may want to stop this session and begin with Module 1, starting the year off right with Inside. In this session, I will review the Online Coach student experience, show you how to monitor student progress in fluency, time on task, and comprehension, and demonstrate how to manage your online coach settings, such as restricting assignments and adjusting audio settings. I will also show you how to manage groups if you need to make changes. As you saw in Module 5, Part 1, the Online Coach student experience includes 3 ways to read. Read silently, listen, and record. These 3 options provide students with a risk-free and private environment where they can develop their reading power and fluency. The Read Silently mode allows students to read the selection at their own pace, rereading portions of the selection as desired. The Listen mode provides a professional narration of the selection, modeling a fluent native English reading for the student. In both Read Silently and Listen, comprehension and vocabulary are the focus. In the Record mode, students can practice reading out loud. They are given guided reading support, and the reading is recorded to monitor words correct per minute. Now let's take a look at the powerful reporting tools found on the Inside Teaching website for the Online Coach. You'll begin by going to insideng.com and logging into Inside Teaching using your username and password. From the Inside Teaching Plus page, you will be able to access your online coach reports, manage groups, and change student settings. Before we get into the online coach reports, I just want to point out the help option in the top right corner. On the help screen, you will find some important tools for you and your students as you get started using the online coach. First, you have the Quick Start guides, and as you can see, there is one for teachers and one for students. Many of our teachers who use Online Coach print out and laminate multiple copies of the Quick Start guide for students, so there's one available at each computer station. This way, students always have access to step-by-step directions as they use the Online Coach. You also have access to a comprehensive user manual and interpreting reports document. These are multi-page documents that can help you in using the online coach and understanding the progress monitoring reports that are provided. Okay, now that I've closed the help screen, we're going to dive into the online coach reporting tools. From the home screen, I'm going to click on the View Student Performance link on the left. The View Student Performance link takes me directly to the Groups at a Glance page. Before we move into the data, I want to point out a few of the navigation features you'll need to become familiar with on each page. First, here in the upper right-hand corner, you will find quick links to the teacher resources pages and professional development page. You can also print any of the reports using this print link, and you can access the help screen, return to the home page, or sign out. On the left side of the screen, you will always see the main menu, and you can use these links to take you to different parts of the site. Now, here on this page, I can see all of my student groups as well as their average assessment and online coach scores. If you are using Inside eAssessment, you will also notice that the default screen includes your selection and unit test data as well as your online coach data. For our purposes, I'm going to adjust our view so we are only looking at the online coach data by unchecking the unit tests box, and I'm also going to click on the name of the group, which in this case is period 1. This brings me to the Students at a Glance page and shows only the online coach data. Now I'm going to start by looking at our average group results for Fluency by clicking on the group score 62. Anytime you see a student name or score in blue, it's an active link that will take you to another page with additional details. So when I click on the group's average fluency score, I'm taken to the Reading Fluency Group Report page. Once you've selected a report to look at, this box will always be right here on the right. It lets you know what data you are currently viewing, whether it's by group or by student. Here at the top, a bar graph shows a distribution of selection readings by words correct per minute by month. As you can see, in September and October, all of the students in this class were reading below 87 words correct per minute. But in November, a small percentage of students are starting to move into the 87 to 111 words correct per minute category, and in December, an even larger group is reading between 87 and 111 words correct per minute, and a few are even reading at more than 111 words correct per minute. The table below the graph summarizes the months, a number of students, the total usage time, and the total number of readings. It also lists the percentages of students who are below, within, and above the fluency goal. Finally, on the bottom of the screen, you will see the student average words correct per minute table. The names of the students in the group are listed in this table along with their words correct per minute by month. In order to see a student's individual reading fluency report, all I have to do is click on the student's name. Let's drill down and look at Elenio Alvarez for an example. At the top of the Reading Fluency Student Report is a graph that plots Elenio's average words correct per minute by month against the fluency goal. As you can see, the goal is represented by a green line that stretches across the graph, and Elenio has made some progress since his first month using Online Coach. You will notice that the goal for all students who are using Inside, no matter the level, is 111 words correct per minute or greater. Based on the Hasbrook and Tyndall norms, this is considered an on-grade norm for middle school. The Reading Fluency Detail table summarizes the reading sessions completed by Elenio. The reading session dates, pronunciation correctness settings and accuracy rate, and Elenio's words correct per minute, fluency goal, and the words correct per minute group averages are displayed and averaged by month. It also displays the selection title, genre, lexile, and the number of readings Elenio made. As you can see, each selection title is blue, which again means it's an active link. When I click on the link for Fleeing Katrina, I'm taken to a session detail page. Now, if you have more than 5 students in your class, you know how hard it is to sit with each student one-on-one and listen to them read while providing immediate corrective feedback. But this session detail page gives you the ability to do just that on your own time. Every time a student records their reading for at least 60 seconds, a session detail page will be created. This report provides the entire text of the selection and the text that was recorded during the student's last session and will be color-coded to help you interpret their performance. The key scene here is found at the bottom of the page when you scroll down. As you can see, the green words are the words Elenio read successfully. Blue words are words that he struggled with but did not receive intervention. And the red words are the words for which he received intervention. Now, as you recall from Module 5, Part 1, Elenio saw these same details when he finished reading, so he already knows what he needs to review, the red and the blue words, and now you have that key information as well. Now, here's the exciting part. The session detail report also gives you the access to the audio file of the last recorded session that was saved to the server. To listen to the audio, simply click the play button on the audio control bar here on the left. You can also export the audio files and create a CD containing a student's full set of recordings. How powerful would that be for students to be able to hear just how much their reading has improved throughout the year? Now, I'm going to go back to the Students at a Glance page so we can take a look at time on task reports. To do that, I just click on the Students at a Glance here on the left under Student Performance. Again, from the Students at a Glance page, I'm going to begin by clicking on the Average Group Results for Time on Task. The Time on Task report specifies the amount of time in hours and minutes that students have worked in the online coach. Here at the top is a simple pie chart that displays how much time students have spent in each mode: read silently, record, and listen. The table displays the time usage broken down by mode for all students within a group. As students move through the program, you'll want to keep an eye on how much time they are spending in the listen mode. If you notice that it is drastically more than both read silently and record, you may decide to turn listen mode off. I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes when we get into changing the settings. Now let's go back to Elenio to see what his time on task report looks like. Remember, to access an individual student's report, I just need to click on their name. After I click on Elenio's name, I'm taken to the Time on Task student report where I see a pie graph displaying his time on task data. The table below provides data on each of the selections Elenio has read. It also lists the date he last worked with each selection. Since he spent at least 1 minute recording each selection, I can click on the selection title and it will take me directly to the session detail page we just looked at. For the last report, I'm going to go back again to the Students at a Glance page and look at the PowerPoints data. At the top of the PowerPoints column, you will see the group average. But let's jump right to Elenio's PowerPoints by clicking on his score, 29. The PowerPoints report tallies the number of points a student earned while answering the comprehension questions. PowerPoints correlate to the number of correct answers submitted for a selection's comprehension questions and are shown by selection as well as in a running total. The table also presents the number of selections read. the possible PowerPoints, the percentage of comprehension questions answered correctly, and the number of comprehension questions answered. And remember, students get 3 chances to answer each comprehension question and still receive points, but the more hints they are given, the fewer points they earn. As you can see, the Inside Online Coach provides access to powerful data that you can use to see your students increase academic achievement in reading. Okay, now I'm going to take us back to the Students at a Glance page one last time so we can look at how you can manage settings. The Online Coach program contains a range of student setting options that can be adjusted to customize the program for individual students. On the Students at a Glance page and most other pages on the site, you will see the Online Coach menu listed on the left of the screen at the bottom of the main menu. We'll look at restricting assignments first. As a default, all of the reading selections for the current Inside level your students are working with are selected and available for the students to access when they log in. Now, at the beginning of the year, you probably don't want your students to begin building their reading power and oral reading fluency with reading selections from future units. Remember, the reading selections in Inside get harder as the students progress through each level. So in order for them to be successful, you'll want to limit their assignments to the current unit and reading selections. When you first click Restrict Assignments, the assignments screens will open to a list of the students in the selected group. As you can see, the Reading Selections column is blank. Select individual students by checking the box next to their name or click on Select All to restrict assignments for the entire group. As you can see by the blank dots, all selections are available to students. By double-clicking in the Level B All box here, you will unassign all selections from the level. Now you can start fresh and assign the reading selection you are currently working with. For example, if I'm just getting started with Level C, I only want my students to have access to our first reading selection. I use the plus and minus icons to expand the unit and clusters so I can view each selection title. Once I find the selection title I want to assign, I just click in the All column to assign the selection to all students. As you move through the program, you can add and remove selections as needed for individual students or the entire group. The One-Time Assignments tab allows you to prioritize a reading selection. When the students sign in to the online coach, this one-time assignment is the only thing that will appear in the table of contents. As soon as the student completes this one-time assignment, all previously assigned selections will be available. Okay, our next option on the online coach menu is Change Settings, so I'll click on that link. Again, using the checkboxes next to each student's name, select an individual, a specific group of students, or all students using the Select All button before making any changes to the settings. The first option is to change sound settings. On this screen, you can adjust the speaker and playback volume levels for each student. You can also enable or disable sound effects. Be sure to click Save when you are finished and the settings will be applied. The next option is the speech recognition settings. On this screen, you can adjust settings to improve speech recognition performance by adjusting recognition strictness and intervention delay time. The pronunciation correctness setting will likely need to be adjusted for some users. This is an important user setting that affects speech recognition quality. You may find you want to adjust this setting because of reading level or because of a user's speech idiosyncrasies. The second language support option is only available for the Spanish language, and the default for this option is on. Checking this setting will provide the user access to a Spanish pronunciation of many key vocabulary words and phrases. When the student is using the glossary, an En Español button will be available, which will play a Spanish language recording of the glossary word or phrase. Finally, the Accessibility tabs allows you to set 4 major accessibility options by checking each appropriate box. Remember, when we were looking at the time on task report and I said you'd want to keep an eye on how much time students are spending in the listening mode? Well, this is where you can disable listen mode if necessary. Now, if your students are working in Online Coach and you need to make any immediate changes to their settings, they can also be changed from the student page right at the computer they are working on. Once the student is logged into the system, just click on the Options menu in the top right corner and select Setup. You will then be prompted to select your name and enter your password, which is the same one you use to access the inside teaching. You can see here you have the ability to change all of the settings except for the sound options, but remember, you can always adjust the computer's volume if necessary. This setup screen also allows you to delete audio to free up disk space on the hard drive. Simply click the name of the student and then click Clear. This will delete all of the selected students' recordings. Clearing student accounts and recordings does not affect the reports you access on the inside teaching. However, once you clear the student recordings, you will not be able to listen to or download the student recordings. The last link available for Online Coach is the Download Library link. When a student clicks on a selection in the table of contents for the first time, the selection is downloaded to that specific workstation or computer. Sometimes the wait time for selection downloads can be more than several seconds. In order to avoid this wait time, you may want to download the reading libraries in advance. Simply follow the directions on this screen to download the appropriate library. The last thing I'm going to demonstrate is how to manage your student groups. From the Inside Teaching homepage, begin by clicking on Manage Groups. You may need to spend some time managing your groups if you have students who move from one level to another or transfer into your class. The Manage Group screen lists all of the groups you have for your students. These groups probably represent your different class periods. If you ever need to create a new group, simply click on the New Group link at the top of the list. To see who is in each group, simply click on the magnifying glass in the View column. Here we have a detailed group list including general information about the group at the top. If you ever need to access student usernames and passwords, this is where you will find that complete list. You can easily print this page using the Print link in the top right corner. Now, if you ever need to move a student from one group to another or get a student from another class and you'll need to add them to your group, you can do this by clicking the Add Students button. From this list, you can select the name of each student you want to move into this group. This list will only display students who are already in the system. So, if you get a brand new student, you'll need to add them to the group by clicking on the New Student button. Since each new student is a new subscription, please be aware that schools and districts handle this in different ways. So check with your administrator before adding any new students. If you do need to add a new student, don't forget to assign them to an inside level. This will determine which library their online coach table of contents will display. Congratulations, you have completed the final on-demand module for Inside. In this session, we quickly reviewed the online coach student experience before learning how to track student progress in fluency, time on task, and comprehension. I also demonstrated to you how to manage your online coach settings and student groups. Here are some next steps to think about. Print out and laminate copies of the Online Coach Quick Start Guide for your students. Take a moment to restrict the online coach assignments to match where you are in the program. Thanks so much for attending this session. Don't forget to check the Attachments tab on the left side of the screen for your certificate of completion.